Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. This is Mahfuzur Rahman, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Mohammadpur Kendriya College, Dhaka. Due to the spreading of COVID-19 all over the world, taking actual class is not feasible in this epidemic situation. Therefore, our honorable and renowned principal, Professor Syed Jafar Ali, always motivates us all. And by his direction and patronization, as well as his logistic support, the college authority has arranged online virtual class to help our students to continue their studies. And today I'm going to discuss on a grammatical item from English second paper, and the name of the topic is special use of some words and phrases. Before going to the topic, we have to know what is a word and what is a phrase. In traditional grammar, word is the basic unit of language. A word refers to a speech sound or a mixture of two or more specific sounds in both written and verbal form of language. A word works as a symbol to represent or refer to something or someone in language to communicate a specific meaning, whereas a phrase is a group of words in a sentence or a clause having no subject and a finite verb. A phrase never includes a finite verb, it may include a head word. We are going through some special words and phrases. First of all, here you see that what if. We use what if at the beginning of a question when we are asking about the consequences of an action, particularly one that is undesirable or unacceptable. We refer in this way to present or future circumstances or incidents. We use suppose, supposing, and what if plus present verb form to make suggestions about what might happen. So someone is conscious about some negative things. For example, Jamal is a good student. What if he fails to achieve GPA 5 in the examination? Here in this sentence, we see that Jamal is anxious whether something negative things or undesirable things may happen. What will be the consequences of the result? Another example, it's a sunny day. What if it rains heavily today? So here in this sentence, it is also someone is presuming what will happen if in a very clear and good day, rainy day, rains heavily. Hamid is going to the station. What if he misses the train? I am in short of time. What if the train is late? So these are the examples for what if. I hope that you will understand the use of what if in sentences. Next, what's it like or what is it like? In most of the sentences of what is it like, there will be a verb and the verb form is verb plus ing. We use what is it like to ask for an opinion of someone. For example, now it is summer vacation. We have lots of time. What is it like visiting St. Martin Island? So, they are going to give our purpose to give some opinion, give an opinion about a proposal. I have won the lottery. What is it like going to a Chinese restaurant? Another example, Nihal's father is hospitalized. What is it like visiting in that hospital? What is it like swimming in the river? For the first time, it seems new experience for all. Next, what does look like? What does something or someone look like? What does something or someone look like is used when we want to know about one's physical appearance. If one is tall or short, fat or skinny, with a head full of dense, luxurious blonde hair, or bald as a billiard ball. For example, I have seen lots of animals. What does a rhinoceros look like? We have seen many things. What does an octopus look like? I saw many vegetables. What does a cucumber look like? Son said, what does a satellite look like? Father answered. Father said, I have heard of it but never got a chance to see it. Next slide. Would you mind? After would you mind, we see that the verb form is ing form. Ing with the verb. We use the phrase would you mind plus ing form of the verb and do you mind plus ing form of the verb to ask someone politely to do things. Would you mind is more polite, more formal, and more common. For example, the bench is small. Would you mind moving a little bit? We see that the space of the bench is very short. So someone is asking politely to someone, please, could you give me a place? Could you give me a side to sit down so that please move a bit. Another example, it is very hot today. Would you mind opening the window, please? I'm here now. I'm new here. Would you mind telling me the address? Would you mind taking tea with me? So these are the examples. It will be very much helpful for you to understand the phrase would you mind. Next slide. Be born or was born. Be born or was born means come into the world, take birth, be produced, generate, come up, come from, originate or arise. Russell, for example, Russell was born in 1999 at Dhanmondi, or Russell was born at Dhanmondi in Dhaka. Samad and Asad were born in Dhaka. I was born in a Muslim family. Next slide. List plus noun or pronoun plus should or might plus present form of the verb. The conjunction lest means for fear that or in order to avoid. It is followed by something they speak or things should be avoided. For example, we might write, we are going to proofread this twice, lest we should make errors that hurt our credibility. For example, I worked fast lest I should or might miss the train. Though we studied hard, lest he should or might fail to achieve GPA 5. Rima studied hard, lest GPA 5 should be missed. Hope that these examples will cover this phrase. Let alone. Let alone is used to emphasize that something is more impossible than another one. It emphasizes or give importance that something is more impossible than another possible thing. It will be clear for you if you see these examples. Akmal cannot walk a mile. We see that. A man, Akmal, who cannot walk a mile, let alone 10 miles. So it is not possible that person, as that person, Akmal, cannot walk a mile. So it is not possible for him 10 miles. Next example, Tuhin cannot pass in the exam, let alone GPA 5. Faisal cannot eat a single sweet, let alone 1 kg sweets. The child cannot walk, let alone run in the field. He didn't even see a hill, let alone a mountain. There, introductory there. In English, existence is usually indicated by the structure there plus to be verb form. There is actually an adverb. In the word there is actually an adverb of place, but here the introductory there has no adverbial sense or function. It is merely used to introduce the sentence. It will be clear for you if you see these examples here. There are two gardens in our college. So in our college there are two gardens where the meaning of there is not mentioned here. Here there is used to introduce the sentence. Another example, there is a library in our college. There is a bridge over the river. There have been many such rumors. There exists no life on the Mars. So these are the examples. These will cover for you to understand introductory there. Next slide. Introductory it. When the subject is an infinitive phrase, the sentence often begins with it. So the word it in those sentences have no meaning. It is used like introductory there. Instead of saying to find fault with others is easy, we can say it is easy to find fault with others. Here the word it has no meaning. It is just used to introduce a sentence. These examples, if you see this example, will cover for your understanding the use of introductory it. For example, it is easy to learn English. More natural than to learn English is easy. So you may, in other word, you can say that to learn English is easy, but it is more natural than to learn English is easy. We may say it is easy to learn English. Another example, it is 5 o'clock in the morning. It is raining heavily as it is a rainy season. Our spring is very charming. During spring, various kinds of flowers bloom. It seems that everything has got a new life. Next slide. Would rather something, then present form of the verb, and the word then something plus present form of the verb. So in this sentence, the present form of the verb will be used. There will be two sentences. Two would rather is often used with than with two verbs or objects when making a choice between two specific actions. So there will be given two specific action. For example, I would rather fail than achieve GPA 5 in the exam by copying. Zasim would rather starve than seek your help. Munia would rather study in medicine than study in engineering. I would rather resign my job than tolerate injustice. The poor man would rather starve than beg. So these are the examples. Hope that these examples will cover for you to understand the phrase would rather. Next slide. Had better. We use had better to refer to the present or the future, to talk about actions we think people should do or which are desirable in a specific situations. The verb form is always had, not have. We normally shorten it to had better in informal situations. It is followed by the infinitive with or to. Don't disturb me. You had better leave me alone at this moment. Had better is used in those sentences as like should. At the word like should. Don't disturb me. You had better leave me alone at this moment. Smoking tells upon the smoker's health greatly. You had better give up this bad habit. You look so weak. You had better go home as early as possible. Hope that these examples will cover you to understand the phrase had better. Have to, has to, had to, plus present form of the verb. In the question paper, you will see that there will be given only have to, but you have to put have to, has to, or had to according to the tense and the number and person. Have to is used to express certainty, necessity, and obligation or obligatory. Our society, for example, our society is full of bad person. We have to remain aware of them. Parents have to work hard to take care of their children. She has to read 4 books for this literature class. She had to finish the first book before the midterm exam. Hope that this example will help you to understand the use of have to, has to, or had to. as if or as though. We use as if and as though to make comparisons. They have a similar meaning. We use as if and as though to talk about an imaginary situation or a situation that may not be true but that is likely or possible. As if is more common than as though. Rifat often behaves as if he were a prince. It becomes very difficult for me to tolerate him. She acts as if she were a mad. The man pretended as if he had been very poor, so we disliked him. He proceeded as if he had never seen me. His behavior shocked me. Here, uh, there are two grammatical form of as if and as though. If we see that there will be given two sentences to use as if or as though. In these sentences, we see that if we see present form before as if or as though, we have to use past indefinite form after as if or as though. If we see past form or past indefinite tense before as if or as though, the next sentence or after the as if or as though, the part of the sentence will be past perfect tense. So you have to very much careful about the structure of this sentence pattern. Next slide. As long as. We use as long as to refer to the intended duration of a plan or idea, most commonly referring to the future. We always use the present simple to refer to the future after as long as. For example, we are very happy for you to stay at our house as long as you like. Another example, I'll remember that film as long as I live. As long as or so long as also means provided that, providing that, or on condition that. So this is a conditional sentence, conditional use of this phrase as long as or so long as. For example, you are allowed to go as long as you let us know when you arrive. You can borrow the car so long as you don't drive too fast. Hope that these examples will cover you to understand the phrase as long as far as far as is used when we are giving your opinion about something, especially when this may be different from other people's opinions. As far is often used as a preposition meaning as for or regarding, especially in space. The car is absolutely fine as far as the engine is concerned. I know what they look like as far as their body features. They return at 9 as far as we know. Hope that these examples will cover you to understand as far as. Next slide. In order to or so as to. In order to is a subordinating conjunction. We use in order to with an infinitive form of a verb to express the purpose of something. It introduces a subordinate clause. It is more common in written writing than in speaking. For example, accessibility to higher education in our country is very difficult. Students must work hard in order to get themselves admitted into universities. So in order is used to make a purpose of something. So he said the purpose is to get themselves admitted into universities. Another sentence. I went to his office in order to meet him. I went to his office for the purpose of meeting him. Here it indicates that. I'm going to Ireland in order to visit my family. In this sentence, we see that I'm going to Ireland for the purpose of visiting my family. Hope that these examples will cover you to understand the phrase in order to or so as to or only to. This indicates only purpose. Next, used to. We use used to when we refer to things in the past which are no longer true now. So, which are no longer now available. It can refer to repeated actions or to state or to a state or situation. He used to play football for the local team, but he's too old now. So you know that now or at present that person is not young. He is old now. So that person now cannot play. Who do not play now. He used to play previously. That white house over there used to belong to my family. It belonged to my family in the past, but not now anymore. Another example, he used to live in London. Now that person is no longer live in London. He used to go on holiday to Scotland every year. We used to go to seaside every summer when I was a kid. So now I am no more a kid. So when I was a kid, I usually go to seaside every summer. Hope that these examples will cover you to understand the use of used to. It has another grammatical function. If we use be verb before used to, the main verb after the used to, the verb commonly verb will be the present form of the verb. But before used to, we use be verb after the the main verb will be ing form. For example, he is used to living in London. He is used to going on holiday to Scotland every year. We are used to going to the seaside every summer when I was a kid. So this will be this type of subject form, sentence structure. Sorry. Next slide. As soon as. As soon as is an adverbial subordinating conjunction of time. Generally, as soon as is used to express or show an action that is immediately happening after earlier action is just completed. So here in those sentences we see that there will be two action, two time. In simple words, it is used to express two actions with minimum gap in which one is following another. So there is immediate action after finishing another action. For example, we informed the police as soon as the incident took place, but the police didn't arrive even after 2 hours. As soon as we reached the station, the train started. So here we see that immediately we come to the station, reach the station, but the train started to go. The criminal ran away as soon as he saw the police. He was afraid of being arrested. The class started as soon as I reached my college. I was really lucky. So using as soon as, we normally see that the main verb of those two incidents will be past indefinite form. So you have to be very much careful about the uh, syntactic form of that sentence. No sooner had plus past participle of the verb form plus than, and the next part past form, past indefinite form of the verb form. No sooner is used to show that one thing happens immediately after another thing, like in our previous slide as soon as. But here the grammatical form is a little bit different because no sooner had, that is that we see that had, after had we have to you put past participle form of the verb. But in that sentence, as soon as, we don't find any past perfect tense and then is not used there, only used past indefinite form. No sooner is used to show one thing happens immediately after another thing. It is often used with the past perfect and usually followed by then. So then is very much common. You will be ensure that then is used in those sentences. No sooner had we reached the station than the train started. The students were talking in the class. No sooner had the teacher entered the classroom than they stopped talking. No sooner had we started cooking, sorry, no sooner had we started cooking than there was a power cut and we had no electricity. No sooner had they started their work than it started to rain. Hope that these examples will cover for you to understand the use of no sooner had. Next slide. It is high time or it is time plus past form of the verb. It is time or it is high time plus past subjunctive expresses that something should be done and that is already a little bit late. For example, it is high time we bought a new car, or it is time we bought a new car. Next example, it is high time or it is time people stopped corruption from society. It is high time or it is time I bought a new pair of jeans. So that or in order that. So that or in order that is used to talk about the purpose of someone or something. We often use them with modal verbs can, could, will, would, etc. So that is far more common than in order that, and in order that is more formal. For example, Tanisha went to college so that she could learn something. Tanisha went to college for the purpose that she could learn something from her college. We left a message with his neighbor so that he would know we had called. Sorry. We left a message with his neighbor so that he would know we had collected. Sorry. We left a message with his neighbor so that he would know we had called. Next example. I will go by car so that I can take more luggage. Unless. Unless is used in a conditional sentence. Unless means if not. We use unless in conditional sentences instead of if not. Unless can be used with present, past, and past perfect tenses. Use of unless with present tenses when talking about the future. Unless you work hard, that means if you do not work hard, you will not make a good result. You cannot prosper in life unless you make the best use of your time. Unless you finish the job in time, you will be sacked. Unless you keep secrets, your friends will not trust you. Hope that this example will cover you to understand this special word of use unless. Hope that my dear students, you will try to practice these phrases and special words in your model question, in the previous board questions, and you will do better in this part. And in the question here, the question number 3 of the English second paper is used special use of some words and phrases. Is phrase or words carries half marks, so you have there will be given 10 words or phrases, so you have to put according to the grammatical form and the meaning of the sentence. uh, Hope that you will stay at home in this pandemic situation. Save yourself, save other, and pray for others that the ill people or the weak people or the virus attacked people will recover soon. Until then, Allah Hafiz.